The Triumph Bonneville. Let's have a bit of an engine start so that you can get a sample of the 1200cc high torque engine. On the side. Check it's in neutral. You have to have the clutch in, and then rumble. It's quite loud. Slow riding on this is beautiful. It's just so very easy. God, it's got balls, this thing. That's 70 without even looking. It has got some serious low down grunt. Cruise control is now on. Pretty novel experience on a bike. So we're doing about 66 cruise control. Miles per gallon, currently at about 75 miles per gallon. Which is fairly insane, considering this is a 1200. It's got a pretty sort of, it's just a gentle throb. I mean, it's quite a, it's a meaty throb, but it's just there, you know. Okay, so turn off cruise control by anti-roll. Yeah, okay, and then roll back on again. Let's go up to about, yeah, 72 or something. And there we are, set. So it's quite good for, you know, if you're in one of those average speed zones that they love putting on motorways now, 50 miles an hour all along the M4 and all that sort of jazz. Having cruise control is definitely a good thing, because it is so easy to change your speeds on a bike without really meaning to. Yeah, really? What the f*** are you doing? Stupid bitch. The gears are magnificent. I mean, just like knife through butter. There's no clunk, there's no real push, it's just through. It's oh, it's just, it's only my dodgy skills with the clutch that's causing any problem. Brakes are interesting. I mean, they're good, but you have to actually give them a bit before they start to work. So it's a kind of a slow. Actually, no, I'll do it first. It's a sort of slow bite. Yeah, it's got missed second there, but apart from that, it's got get up and go, that's for sure. It's a bit less nimble than the Vulcan, has to be said. It's not quite as throw-aroundable. Second gear is a lovely gear to be in though. First a little jumpy, second you get the grunt but you got the range as well. I mean, that's just really nice. I'm doing 40 and it's just sweet. Oh, I've been looking forward to doing this with a 1200 under a bridge. Slightly naughty. Suspension's good. We're going over these little manholes and stuff, and you really don't feel it. So much less than on my Vulcan. Really good suspension, just very, very smooth and soft. I mean, you feel the bumps obviously, but it's just it's a much it's a slower, more refined bump. Engine braking is limited, I have to say. There's not much engine braking going on. Rear brake, there's a little. It's much lower, the rear brake, and it's also quite tucked in. If the rear brake was more out here, that would be easier, because my legs sort of go that way rather than being just here. You only get it on the inside of your foot, so actually having it more here, like a bigger pedal across, would be quite nice. I mean, it's better for long riding, obviously. Mirrors, although very pretty, aren't as good. They're not as big, and yeah, I could adjust the angle better, but you just don't get quite as much view. You don't get I can see behind me really nicely, but on the Vulcan I also get the next door lane, which is, you know, really useful for overtaking. So mirrors, beautiful, but less practical. It's quite irritating. So I was doing 60 there in second, and it was giving me a bit of vibration. I mean, it comes back down really nicely, but just, I mean, the overtaking power is all there. I mean, there's no issue with overtaking at all. I mean, I don't know what we were doing, but it must, you know, it was behind a tractor, so nothing more than about 25, I wouldn't have thought. And, you know, 25 to 60 in an instant, just with a twist of the wrist. No need to change gear at all. That was all second. I mean, this is 40 miles an hour, third gear, we're doing 70. Well, that's downhill, but let's have a look now. We're doing 88 miles per gallon. Yeah, it just, you need the clutch. There's a bit of jerky bite right at the bottom of gear one. I imagine that's sort of torque, because of the amount of torque available, but just setting off is so smooth. I mean, and the shifts upwards are beautiful. Crikey, you have got to be careful on this bike, actually. I mean, that was a 30 zone, and you do, because it's all in the low gears, you can whip up you can get quite high into the miles an hour, just in those top gears. So you've got to watch out slightly. For some reason, my hands don't get as cold on this bike. I mean, they're getting a bit cold, but they got really cold on the way to go and get this bike on my Vulcan. And I think because they're at this slightly raked angle, these sort of beach bars, I think they're called, reminiscent of the sort of California coastal road sort of beach bars. I don't think you get the wind coming straight onto your hands. It's a slightly more tucked in instead of being sort of straight out. You don't get them like there. You get them at that angle, and so you don't actually get as much wind chill on your hand. It's really interesting. The bike's quite good. It gives you a little shudder when it wants to go down a gear. It does tell you. You know, you're not going to stall by mistake. Well, you probably are, but it does give you fair warning if it's not liking the gear you're in. It just gives you a little judder through the bars. Tells you it's time to move down. Feels quite wide with the handlebars, but with the mirrors. But I don't think it is actually. I mean, I don't think it's well, it's not much wider than shoulders and elbows and all the rest of it. It's got bite off the line though, that's for sure. It has got bite off the line. What a stupid woman. So I can tell you do 63 miles per gallon, second gear, 30 miles an hour, which is pretty impressive. So I think I think it claims about 60 to 65 or something miles per gallon, and I haven't done less than that at all in any gear, pretty much. I mean, apart from when accelerating hard.